So you're a man who wants to level up every area of life, but when it comes to your social and dating goals, you don't know if you should try daytime environments, like approaching in the street, mall, or a park, or if you'd have better luck in a nighttime environment, like a bar, a club, or a lounge. Or maybe you've already started approaching, maybe you've even gotten a little bit of success, but then when you switch to the other environment, things are not the same at all. I'm about to go over the main 3 differences between night and daytime and how you can succeed in each one. They're both great for becoming more confident in social situations, so just stick to the end to find out exactly how you should approach each one. Starting with the first difference, your approach. Your daytime approach is going to be a lot more formal, typically starting with, "Hey, excuse me," which is just a formal way of getting the woman's attention. It's very respectful, but it still grabs attention.
Excuse me. Hey, 1 second. You just walked right by me.
So as you can see in this approach I did at the mall, I start with, "Hey, excuse me." Now, once you have the girl's attention, you're then gonna wanna display intent. Again, this is just part of that formal sort of structure that comes with approaching women in broad daylight. Because what you don't wanna do is you approach the girl, but you never tell her that you're attracted to her. And so as the conversation goes on, she's just wondering like, why is this dude talking to me right now? That's not what you want, obviously. So that's why you display your intention.
I just really liked your outfit. I thought you were like cute. So I just wanted to say what's up real quick. Yeah, no problem.
As you can see here, I compliment the girl's outfit, but then I proceed to call her cute. Now, you don't want to just compliment the outfit and just leave it at that, because that's not really intentful. See, I could walk up to you watching this video on the street, at the mall, and I'd be like, "Hey, I like your outfit." And you wouldn't really think too much of it because it's not really intentful. It sounds like just a compliment, right? But the moment I say, "Hey man, I just want to say you look really cute," you would probably be a little confused. That's because the word cute has intent behind it. There's a different meaning and a different feeling that it gives off. So you just want to make sure that when you're giving intent, it's not coming across like a platonic compliment. Now from there, you can pretty much just start vibing with the girl. A lot of the times the girl's going to be by herself, and so you could just focus on having a one-on-one conversation with her and just vibe, get to know the girl, and if everything goes smooth, potentially set up a date with her. Now, in nighttime, being this formal is just a sure way to lose the attention of every single girl you approach. So typically the interaction's not gonna start with, "Hey, excuse me." It's not gonna have an "excuse me" in it at all. I like to say "yo." I don't know why, that just feels natural to me. It's like, "Yo, I like your outfit." But you can pretty much say anything really that catches the girl's attention. You could skip straight to the compliment. Like you could be walking through the club and just blasting compliments like, "I like your shirt, I like your hair, I like your shoes," and just open that way. You could even say like, "What's up?" Like, "What's up? How's your night going?" Anything to open up the conversation in a very casual, lighthearted, informal type of way. Now, this is where nighttime starts to get tricky because you won't really find women by themselves at night. I mean, it can happen every so often, but it's very rare. Women will usually go out with their friends. So what does that mean? That means that you have to engage the entire group. It's not like a daytime approach where oftentimes you will find a girl by herself and you can talk to her by herself. If you try talking to the girl you're interested in and just leaving the friends out of it, you are going to get blown out. I'm sure you've experienced this, and the problem is though, a lot of guys just chuck this down to, "Oh well, she's such a cock block. Why her friends so rude? Her friends are jealous of her." No, you're literally leaving them out of the conversation. So it makes sense why the friends are pulling her away from you. You have to engage the friends and stop blaming outside environments. Stop blaming the girl and the friends for dragging her away, and blame yourself for not engaging the friends. So the best way to avoid cock blocking is by simply engaging the friend from the beginning. Make the friend feel invited and included, and then you won't have to deal with any of that. So a lot of times my open at night is actually either a compliment or a question that engages the whole group. So for example, "Yo, excuse me, are you two sisters?" I'm directing the question to the both of them and it keeps them engaged. Now I got my foot foot in the door and I can continue the conversation and inject flirtatiousness as the conversation goes. So as you can see, it's a little bit more of an indirect structure. I'm not going straight into it guns blazing with the intent. That's great for daytime, but for nighttime, it just doesn't seem to work. My theory is that because women don't really get approached during the day, it's very unexpected and therefore very flattering. And so displaying your intention actually works. And not only does it work, it actually is better. It's what you should do. But when it comes to nighttime, if you go in with the intent straight away, it doesn't work the same because women are getting approached at night. So it becomes a lot more predictable. See, because most men don't have the courage to just go up and talk to a girl during the day, they usually talk to girls at night when they are drinking alcohol and they got a little bit of that liquid courage. So the women are already used to getting approached, and the moment you go up with a direct approach, her walls are just up and she just gets, her defenses go up. So as you can see, they're not just different, they actually have their own advantages, and you should really use both to become your most social, charismatic, and confident self. Now, if you want to be able to approach women without hesitation and land dates from it, regardless of the environment, then click the link in the description. Now, the second difference you're going to run into in these environments is the vibe. The vibe during daytime approaches is very calm and grounded. So you still have to project your voice, but you're not going to have to be yelling like you are in a loud club.
I haven't met one before.
Ah, boy. So I gotta leave a good impression. So I can set the bar.
So as you can see from my approach, I'm speaking very slow. Now, as you could also probably tell from that clip, your body language will be very relaxed and steady. See, both of these things are just communicating calm, grounded, masculine energy that the girl can feel and relax around you. Because from the woman's perspective, you're just a strange man approaching her in the middle of the day. She doesn't know who you are, and seeing that you actually have like a calm, grounded, relaxed vibe could actually help her relax into her feminine energy, and she's gonna mirror you, right? Essentially, like, you're relaxed, she's relaxed. If you're a little bit too jittery and excited, first of all, that just doesn't come across like very masculine, so you're not gonna be like very attracted to her. But also, secondly, she may not even really be able to relax around you. She's just gonna be like nervous, not gonna be able to fully let herself enjoy the present moment. Now, on top of that, your conversation itself and the things you're talking about is gonna be a lot more of like get to know you talk. It's gonna be a lot more connection building. Not that there's not any playful moments, because actually I'm very playful, but it's the vibe. See, even when I am playful, I still maintain this very like grounded essence about me. Now, the vibe of nighttime approaches is a lot more fun and energetic. If I had to summarize it in a very simple way for guys who have approached during the day but are thinking of trying out the nighttime, you're gonna be a lot more loud and animated. See, because you're competing with the loud music, you actually have to speak very loud. If you come in with the same vibe that you try during the daytime, or even the same volume, I mean, bro, the girl's not even gonna hear you if you try that. But also, even if they do hear you, it just doesn't match the vibe of the environment. So it's not likely to actually get you anywhere. You need to come in with a very energetic, very fun vibe to start. This is what lets the girl know that you're actually a cool, fun guy and you're actually worth talking to. Now, that being said, your body language will be a lot more fluid and have a lot more movement. Again, it just matches the vibe of what's going on. And when you're talking to the girl and you're really animated, like for example, if I want to open a group of girls that's dancing and I want to like playfully compliment their dancing, I'm not just gonna say like, hey guys, you guys are like really good dancers. That's not animated enough. Instead, what it would probably look like is something like, yo, you guys have the best dance move I've seen all night. Like, you guys are actually the best dancers in this whole club. As you can see, I'm just very animated with my hands. I'm very expansive. This is very calibrated to the situation, the vibe that we're in right now, the environment. Even if you're not talking to the girl, like, you guys have to like dance a little bit, you know, don't just sit there with your cup looking awkward with your closed body language. Like, you have to have movement and look like you're having fun, because hypothetically, dude, like, if the cute girl sees you you before you see her and she just sees you like this, by the time you go up to her, like, she already has her opinion about you that you look kind of fucking lame. Versus she looks over at you and you look like you're dancing, having fun. Then when you go over there and talk to her, she remembers you like the cool guy that was like dancing, having fun. So be expansive with your body language, be animated, talk to the group, point around at the group, engage people, have movement, dance. All this is gonna help your vibe at night to be more engaging and to actually get the woman's attention, to actually be able to have longer conversations. Which, by the way, the conversation itself is gonna be a lot more fun and playful. And furthermore, it's gonna be a lot more sexually charged than it typically is during the day. That doesn't mean that there's no genuine get to know you talk and genuine vibing in the conversation. Of course, you need a little bit of that. You need to build some connection and some comfort with the girl, but a lot of it is gonna be playful talking, very non-serious, emotional talk. You're not usually just gonna be in the club talking about, so like, yeah, like, how was your parents' relationship when you were younger? Like, that's just too deep for the vibe and the environment. Moving on to the third and final difference, logistics. What you're gonna find out with these daytime approaches is that a lot of the times, the girl does not have a whole lot of time. Sometimes she really has to get going, or she's in the middle of running errands, so maybe she has little time, but not that much, or whatever the case might be. Sometimes they have the time to literally just hang out, but sometimes they really don't. They have other things to do, and so you're gonna have to learn to make a very strong impression in a short amount of time so that it could actually lead to a date. That compared to a nighttime approach where the girl, she's not going absolutely anywhere. She does not have to study for some tests. She does not have to run any errands. She doesn't have any appointments. It's literally 12 o'clock at night. This girl is not going anywhere. You basically have all night long, which means you have a lot more time to spend with the girl, which is a good thing. Like, time is a very underrated thing in interaction, because this is why I preach leading instead of getting a phone number in my approaches. See, think about this. Why do you think a lot of women end up sleeping with coworkers? Why do you think a lot of women end up sleeping with their personal trainer? It's because they spend so much time with them. So time alone is a very powerful thing. That being said, you're gonna have to learn to actually keep the girl engaged for a long period of time. So it's not like it's all sunshine and rainbows. Oh, cool, I got all night with the girl. If you don't keep her engaged, eventually she's gonna get bored and she's gonna say, okay, well, gotta get back to my friends. So really, they're just both different skill sets, and you wanna learn how to be able to do both. Have a strong, powerful connection in a short amount of time that can lead to a date, and also be able to keep the girl engaged for a long period of time. Now, as discussed before, you're gonna be able to find a lot of girls who are by themselves during the day, but at nighttime, that's just not the case. So even when you go for a lead, like moving the girl across the bar, like literally just to grab a drink, or even to, like, for example, move to a different bar, or whatever the case might be, you're gonna have to usually get the friends on board, okay? Sometimes if the girl's a little bit more independent, like, you can get away with just like having this little moment just between you two, and she'll actually like leave her friends, but that's not always the case. In fact, that's like rarely the case. Usually it's like her friends either have to come with, or you at least have to let them know, like, hey guys, by the way, me and Becky here are just gonna grab a drink at the bar. We'll be right back. I'll bring her back, I promise. Like, you have to kind of do this thing. Versus daytime, the girl's by herself, so like, you got it. You can do whatever you want to do. You can lead her to the bench nearby to sit down. You can lead her to walk. You can do whatever. Now, because of these logistical differences, the end goal is a little bit different as well. For daytime, you really just want to have a strong interaction that includes a little bit of connection building, a little bit of flirtatiousness that builds attraction, and leading, ideally like taking the girl from one place to another. Or if the girl really has time, like the girl did in this interaction here.
Well, I was thinking like, let's go to the Starbucks and grab like a warm drink.
You can go for what's called an instant date. This is where you take the girl on a date right then and there, instead of trying to set it up over text later. And so in this case, the girl had nothing going on. I took her to Starbucks and we had a coffee together. So the ideal end goal is an instant date. And if there's no time for that, then you go for a lead. You want to just have a strong, however much time you do have, you want to make that as strong as possible. And then ideally set up a date from that. Now with nighttime, once the club or bar closes, classes, there's really not a whole lot of things open. So you're typically going to be going for a pool to do some sort of activity back at your place. Now, this may involve getting the friends on board, winning the friends over so that they're cool and trust you to actually take their friend home and have her go home safely that night or the next morning, or whatever the case might be. It may involve, maybe the friends are not ready for that. It may actually involve you taking the friends with you, whether it is to your place or to some sort of maybe a food spot that's open late first. There's a lot of things that might happen when going for the pool, but honestly, that's a whole nother video in it of itself. So if that's something you want to see, just leave a comment. And if you want to be able to approach women in any environment, land dates, and ultimately achieve true confidence, then click the link in the description. You're going to get access to my brand new program where I'm constantly releasing in-depth tutorials and exclusive infield footage that I don't show here on YouTube. Those are live action approaches that go way beyond the 1-minute clips you see on Instagram. You're going to see me walk through the exact step-by-step system that I've already used to coach over 400 men and get them real-life results. I'm also giving away a free 1-hour consultation call to the next 5 guys who take action. So if you want to sit down with me, connect, and have me literally custom tailor the program to your specific situation and goals, then click the link in the description, lock in your free call before the slots fill up, and I look forward to connecting with you.